This movie is proof that cocaine is one hell of a drug. Lifeforce, released in 1985 and is directed by Tobe Hooper, who has also directed such classics like The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Poltergeist, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, and Night Terrors. And this drugged up idea of a movie is starring Steve Railsback, Peter Firth, Frank Finley, the almost completely nude the entire time Matilda May, and a pre-Jean-Luc Picard Sir Patrick Stewart. And I'm very excited today because today the reason why we're talking about Lifeforce is because it was a recommendation from my very first channel member here on YouTube, Roderick Hare. Thank you so much. You have become the very first channel member. I had started channel membership back in November. Of course, I'm a terrible YouTuber and I have not advertised that or put out like an instructional video of the pay tiers and everything, but you were the first one to click on the membership tab and said, hey, I like this guy. I'm going to support this guy right here on YouTube. Thank you so much for this recommendation. I'm also going to be getting to your next recommendation of The Stepfather tomorrow, but I wanted to start things off with Lifeforce here because, my God, what is this movie? If anyone else out there also wants to help support me and contribute to this channel, you can click on the membership button that is at the bottom of this video. Check out all the different tiers that I have there and pick which one works best for you. If you want to send over a couple of recommendations, there are some membership tiers for that. If you want to hang out and do a movie night or a movie watch along live here on YouTube, there is a tab for that as well. But you can also help contribute and support me by selecting the QR code that is in the bottom left corner of your screen right now and send over a PayPal donation to me. And if you have a movie recommendation, that way you can send it over there, and if I have access to it, I will watch it, review it, and give you a little shout out, just like what I did with Roderick Hare. Again, thank you so much, Roderick. I'm so excited. This is like the first membership of my channel. This is freaking awesome. I love it. And I love these movies that you recommended. This one is one hell of a drug dream. The spaceship Churchill is studying Halley's Comet when they notice that there is a very large spaceship that is riding its coattails. Several of the astronauts go exploring this alien spacecraft, where they see a whole bunch of bat-like creatures who are decaying and desolate hanging out inside. But they also see three very nude and very beautiful people trapped in crystal cells, and they bring them back on the spaceship and try to return to Earth. But the spaceship does return adrift in space, and during a rescue mission, the three enclosed alien people are brought back to London for examination. And there we see the first glimpse of their power, of them sucking the life force out of the doctors, and they start going on a rampage trying to take over London and eventually the world. And that's just a fragment of the plot of this movie. Like, how does a story get out of hand? This movie is the example of that. This is when you need to hone in your writing skills and focus on what the story actually is, because they just keep adding powers on top of abilities for these space vampires. I guess it's based on a book called Space Vampires, but they thought, no, that sounds too B movie, C movie, D movie-esque. We want something that's more universal. Let's call it Lifeforce. At this point, I wish they would have just called it Space Vampires, because I was trying to figure out what's the title of the Lifeforce mean? Yes, they're sucking the life force out of people, but is that what they're going after? I don't even know what they're going after. We end up in a climax for this movie with a giant beam up in the sky with all souls coming to it that they've succubied throughout the land. I don't know. It's a movie that I wish I was watching while on drugs. I have never done drugs before, and I feel like I need to understand the mindset of where these writers and creators were when making this movie. The dialogue in here is so cheesy, and it's so classic 80s end-of-the-world horror picture-esque stuff, and I love it. Peter Firth plays Colonel Kane, who is this, I don't know what he is. He's some secret agent involved in like government conspiracies, coming in to like shut down things and control things before they get out of hand. And he is a weird motherfucker. He has a line in here where one of the other colonels is looking at the woman who is succumbed in her mind by the alien succubus, And yeah, that happens. Apparently that's a power that they have. But that Colonel is like, oh, this is going to get ugly. And Colonel Kane just kind of sits down in the living room and says, it's fine. I'm used to being a voyeur. Such a creepy motherfucker in this movie, and I love him. And Steve Railsback plays Colonel Carlson, who was one of the original astronauts who found the space station. And when he sees the woman, she is just so perfect in every way. She is his inner thought of what a woman should look like, so he is just entranced by her. But she's so dangerous that he unlocks it by accident and then tries to destroy the spaceship because he doesn't want these space vampires to come to the Earth. And yeah, he's over the top. He's melodramatic as hell. However, I've discovered that Railsback has the first on-screen kiss for Sir Patrick Stewart in any movie. That happens in here. And when I say that this film is just doped up on cocaine itself, that's an understatement. We go from pretty impressive like space scenery and special effects used for spacecraft, and the wire work in here is actually pretty impressive for it being from 1985. And then when we get back on Earth, this film switches to this contagion outbreak zombie film that kind of has vampires, but they also travel through people's minds. So we have Matilda May for a part of this movie, and then she goes away because apparently she can move her consciousness to another body, to another woman who didn't want to do full nudity for this entire movie. But then we take her consciousness back to Matilda May's body, and that was done with a whole blood recreation of her character. I don't know. I don't fucking know. So many decisions in here is like, where did this come from? Oh my god. This is hilarious. It's just so fucking weird. This movie right now is free on Tubi TV, and that makes sense. I love Tubi TV. If any of you have never heard of it or used it, it is awesome. It's absolutely free, and they have so many movies on there that you can just pop on and watch. A whole bunch of like B-list, C-list, D-list films that you could never find anywhere. Like you'd have to go to a special like resale shop to get like a physical copy to actually watch these. They're all on Tubi TV, so go check it out there. I just don't understand decisions that were made on this film. It's from Tobe Hooper, who directed Poltergeist right before this, and I just recently watched Poltergeist for the first time last Halloween, and I fucking hated it. It was boring, the acting was terrible, the puppetry I can get behind, like that was pretty impressive, the practical effects, and that's what I can get behind here. It has a lot of great puppetry and a lot of great special effects when it comes to these sucked out zombie-ified bodies just hanging out in the morgue somewhere. So the special effects, yeah, I'll give it a pass, I'll give it a thumbs up. But the story and the characters here are so over the top that is so shit. But because it's so shit, it's so entertaining. Like, I can't explain it. This movie is so fucking weird. And I hated it and loved it at the same time. I wanted it to be over, but yet I wanted it to keep going. And then to see two naked bodies shooting up to the alien spacecraft and that defeated it. I don't know why it was so funny. Two naked people just beaming up to this spaceship, and then the spaceship is destroyed, and then it flies off. Like, yeah, that makes sense. That can save the world. Just two people necking each other. Let's just do it. Roderick, thank you so much for recommending Lifeforce. I've never heard of this film before, and it's definitely a movie that I would have turned on if I wasn't forced to. So thank you very much. This was an absolute... It was a chore, it was terrible, but yet it was so freaking awesome at the same time. It's been a while since I dealt out this score, but I'm gonna give Lifeforce 5 out of 5 mammograms.
I got the results of the test back. I definitely have breast cancer.
The movie is so terrible, it is freaking amazing, and that's why it gets that score. So guys, if you've seen Lifeforce, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before, and you stumbled across it because of this video, then comment below and let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button, and make sure you hit that bell so you know the next time I'm releasing next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.